Centrify agent. We've already tested domain controller failover with sites and services, the offline cache, and process protection. So now we're going to test configuration file integrity. As you know, and you've seen from the videos that I've had before, Centrify uses Unix frameworks like Name Server Switch or NSS, uses Kerberos, and also uses PAM, pluggable authentication modules. So those files or those frameworks use configuration files, and the Centrify agent does a great job at protecting itself from corruption. So I'm gonna emulate a corruption of the system. So in this case, what I'll do is, from my CentOS system, I'll elevate to root. So I'm gonna do dz-do su dash, and I just became root. That's another cool feature about Centrify. Full privilege management solution. I don't need to know the root account in here to be able to do this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the etc folder, and let's just mess up with some files here. So what I'll do is let's edit the etc nsswitch.com file first. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna mess up with the order of things. So for users, shadow files, and group files, we have Centrify components first, basically Active Directory first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. I'm going to be an agent of corruption here, and I'm going to delete all this, right? And also I'm going to go and I'm going to VI the KRB5. So let's go ahead and mess up everything here. So I'm gonna delete everything here under domains and all this. So pretty much I clean everything, messed everything up pretty much. If I more those files, still the files are corrupted basically. And let's do this one for the KRB5, and pretty much everything is corrupted. So what I'll do is now I'm gonna basically reboot or restart the Centrify service. And let's see what happens. So this is one of the mechanisms that the Centrify agent includes to protect itself from corruption. So now let's take a look at those files. So the nsswitch.com file, notice that it has the Centrify DC up front, so it's been fixed. You probably picked that there's the Centrify DA, which is the audit agent. If you want to fix that one, I could just restart that service as well, and that will fix it. So, and that's because the audit agent also implements a PAM module for the password portion. So let's take a look. So there you go. It's already fixed. So let's take a look at the good old KRB5 file. And there you go. We have a fixed file. So that's how Centrify agent is able to implement mechanisms for integrity of configuration files. In the case of KRB5 files, you may not want this to happen. So the Centrify agent's config file has an ability not to overwrite those, but just to let you know. The final test is with Watchdog processes, and that one has to do with if there's an abnormal termination of the Centrify processes, there's a Watchdog process that will basically spawn a new Centrify AD client process. So let's take a look. So the process is called CEC watch. So if I do a PS -ef and I do grep, So that's the Watchdog right there. You see it with 8397. The Watchdog kicks in if there is an abnormal termination of the AD client process. So the easiest way of performing harakiri will be to actually gracefully stop the Centrify service. That will basically leave you with files or whatever you have in the stack. But if there's an abnormal termination of the the AD client process, the story is a little bit different. So let's do this has to happen really fast. So let's do a kill -9. I don't recommend anybody to do a -9 kill, but this is a lab, so I can do that. And let's kill 8396. And I'm gonna quickly do an AD info so you can see the status. So notice the status in here, it says down, right there. So Centrify DC mode, that means that AD client is not available, went down. But if I quickly go and I do another AD info, that's why it needs to be done real quick. If I do another AD info, you will see it says connected. That's because CDC Watch saw an abnormal termination and then it launched a new process. So if I look at the process ID, notice that before it was 8396. So now, that's the CDC Watch. Let's take a look at, now it's 8822. So, so there you go. This is how Centrify basically protects itself. The only one that I did not cover, and that actually requires a little bit more of waiting, would be the telemetry calculations. And that's when every now and then the AD client will actually assess if it's connected to the best domain controller available. So it'll have kind of like a set of favorite domain controllers, and it will perform its own calculations. And based on the telemetry calculations, it may switch to a different domain controller depending on load. So that's another one in which it always makes sure that it's connected to the best domain controller possible. And this covers all the scenarios for high availability with the Centrify agent for Unix, Linux, and Macs as well. And I hope that this was useful. Keep tuned.